Hi everybody, and welcome our extended family to our teachings on Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. We are in sort of the middle end of the first section of the book, and I'm hoping that all of you can read to page around 68 or 70. This particular read it's difficult because there's a lot of details about their experience in the concentration camp in this one. And again, I just honor all of you for reading this with me, and I just, when you do your reading, that you kind of use this as just a beautiful meditation, a little time for reflection, and just kind of reviewing the last few teachings we pulled from Viktor and from the book have to do with just how each one of us in our lives here in 2018 are showing up and living the moments of our life. And I think that is so many great gifts from his teachings for us and how we're just living and showing up today. So today, I think I say this every week, but this semester has been really powerful for me personally, and I hope it has been for all of you as well. This one is extra special because it kind of ties in with some work we've been doing all year on One Precious Life. So in a reading that we've just done, there was a portion where he talks about kind of going back where they're at the camps and they've lost everything. And I kind of want to review in our own minds what that means to have lost your ability to go out outside of your home, to lose your job, to lose your home, and then only be able to take the things you could fit into a suitcase from your home. And then the first thing they take away from you is that suitcase with your possessions. And then they lose their clothes and anything they might have had that was special hiding in their clothes. And just when you think, they couldn't have anything more taken from them, they completely shaped their bodies from every hair on their body so they were not even recognizable to themselves and to each other. And again, I was left with that feeling of what are you left with? And in this part of the book, he talks about them taking one more thing from them. Do you remember what that was? Anyone that was here on Sunday? Right. Thank you. So they took their identity. So they did not refer to them by name. They stripped them of that, and they were wearing numbers to identify them when they needed to be identified. But that was one of the last things that they did to completely strip them of what belonged to them. And I was thinking about what a name really means to me and to us, to be Diana, to look at my name holds like the lineage of my family and my family's experiences and all my life's experiences as little Diana and medium Diana and big Diana, and all of that really being held in this feeling of this is who I am, this is my career, this is what I've worked toward, this is my family. But having been to a place where you've been stripped of everything is where this beautiful teaching comes to us of what is truly left for all of us. And I think that is the question I ask myself sitting here today, and I want all of you to be asking yourself. When you're stripped of everything, when someone could think they've taken everything, what are you truly left with? Because what we're left with oftentimes really sort of defines our happiness and our meaning, our purpose in life. So there's a part of the book that I would want to share and read with all of you that starts on page 55. And just a little prelude to this. At some point, Viktor had decided he would be transferred to another camp, and oftentimes when you made that decision, you realized that you might actually be taken to a gas chamber instead, or to be killed instead. And all of the prisoners knew that, so it was a hard choice for them to make, wanting to get out of the situation they were in, and yet knowing it might actually be their death. And at some point, he makes that decision that he's going to be transferred to another camp, and when he sees his friend, this is where I'm picking up, his friend Otto, he's sad because he knows that he's possibly going to die. And so he says this: Slowly I walked back to my hut, and there I found a good friend waiting for me. You really want to go with them? He asked sadly. Yes, I am going. Tears came to his eyes, and I tried to comfort him. Then there was nothing else to do to make a will. Listen, Otto, if I don't get back home to my wife, and if you should see her again, then tell her that I talked of her daily, hourly. You remember. Secondly, that I have loved her more than anyone. Thirdly, the short time I have been married to her outweighs everything, even the experiences we are going through here. And that was his will. So when we're doing One Precious Life, I ask the students who are participating in that 30-day meditation and practice to write a will. And I was thinking about what that means for all of us. So if I write a will, it's going to be who gets this money that I have in the bank? Who gets my precious jewelry? Who gets, who do I want to have my whatever things that we have, whatever resources we have. But for Victor, he was in a place where everything had been taken from him. Every bit of money he had, every bit of clothing, every possession he owned. And so when he really thought that there's something I want to give to the person I love, which is what a will is. A will is saying, I might not see you again, and I have something I want to give you. That is what a will is. And so when everything was stripped of him, what he realized, what he wanted to give his wife was his love. He just wanted to give her these words that she would always have, how much he loved her. And so simple, it wasn't said off, it was so, there were 3 lines that he gave to his friend to give to her. And I love that he couldn't write them down, because Otto having to memorize them made him make them more simple. Like, what did he really, really want to say to her? So I have actually revamped that part of the One Precious Life. When I ask people to write their will, I'm actually going to ask them to write this will, which is going to be your homework this week. And when we finish class, we're going to do a meditation. I'm going to have you think of people that you love and kind of go through this in your mind first. But I want you to, I'm just going to read the homework because I like how I wrote it. The homework this week is from One Precious Life Meditation and Practice. If you thought you may never see the person you loved again, and you could tell your dear friend a message, your will, what would you say? Write 1 to 3 sentences to your loved one or ones that is your will. And then here's the important part. I want you to give it to them. That's part of this practice. Simple, small piece of paper, depending on who the person is. I'm sure Rachel and Matt are sitting in front of me now, that when you write 3 things that you would want Matt to always know, no matter what, you'll give it to him and he'll understand, But there might be someone else in your life that, I don't know, you might freak them out, which is maybe okay. I like that. I think we need to wake ourselves up sometimes a little bit to the reality. I don't get to be Diana forever, and I don't get to be with Rachel forever. That's beautiful. That makes it more special and precious. So maybe that's okay that maybe you share that with people. Be like, you know what? I decided of all the things that I possess, of all the things I have, I want you to know, if I should never see you again, Tamara, I want you to know these 3 things. Write them down and give that to that person. And like I said, if you really, really I know this is going to freak this person out, then just make it as if it's a card. This card that you wanted to give to them that was very important for them to have. For me, I will tell you that of all the possessions I have of Richard's, and I have a lot that are oddly special to me, like his coaching whistle or his water bottle. But the thing that I love the most, that just touches me, are the cards and notes that he's written to me that were basically like these 3 lines, that when I need to, I just pull them out, just read them. And it's just such a beautiful gift to have, to always know that person wanted you to know these things, that wanted you to have their love forever. So You can write 1, you can write 2, you can write 50. But really, I hope all of you will take the time to sit with this and to write these precious gifts that you want to give. And really, in your mind, as best you can, try to imagine if you knew for some reason you weren't going to see these people that you love again. That's an important part of this, because it really changes what we say when we think, I might not see you again. You know, my dear friend was just in Maui, and there was a hurricane coming, and we were talking on the phone every day and just, you know, getting close and telling each other how much we loved each other, because that hurricane just rattled our cages just enough to remind us how precious life is. So, so try to imagine something in your mind that helps you kind of get to that place. And when you get to that place, think of, who do you love the most on this planet? Who do you absolutely adore? And then give them this. Is really, in my opinion, probably of all the things you could give this person, this is the greatest gift. I'm just going to add one more thing. I'm seeing Kathy here, who is a grandma to 2 beautiful boys, and how beautiful that is to write that for them as well, and to have for them always. Namaste.